All right, shalom, 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 shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachak, Wadash, double honors unto my elders and apostles of great millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us the truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations as always be to the elect. And I just wanted to make a quick lesson, man, just a quick exhortation. I only have, it's 3 precepts, but technically 4, because I have a translation, different Bible translation for Colossians 3 and 12. But just wanted to go in real quick, man, on the mindset to have in this time, this season. All right, from from the brothers that's been in it for a minute to the new believers. All right, the new believers out there. This is the mindset, to have. This is these precepts, man, put you in a good mindset. These are Bible basics, that we learned when we were up and coming, and that we apply still to this day. No matter how long you've been in this, Salakia. So, no matter how long you've been in this, this is the scriptures that we apply to our life on the daily. All right, and we can't forget these, man. This is our foundation. This is our milk. All right, that nourished us up. All right, so this is James chapter 4 and verse 7. It says, "Submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." Right? So we're supposed to submit, put ourselves under the submission of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And the reason why I titled it "Mindset to Have in This Time," all right, is because of the season that we're in. We're in a season, where a lot of evils are going on, man. The scriptures say, we're living in perilous times. All right, we're living in a season where, the Lord is going to take people in great number. He's going to, cause the earth to shake, bring great destruction upon this place, America, So our mindset should be humility to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because when you're humble, when you're in a state of lowliness and humility to the Lord, all right, what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a position, all right, to be able to react spiritually, all right, to be able to see everything, all right, because when you're walking around with the mentality that you got it like that, you're not being circumspect, you're not checking yourself. But when you're in a state of humility, all right, you're examining yourself, all right, you're making sure that what you're doing is on point, all right, because all of us in this truth, man, you can never say you got it like that. We can't say that, all right, because we're all still growing. Okay, and I was listening to the one of the elders' video yesterday, all right, and I realized, like, oh shit, no matter what you think, man, there's always room for correction, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna end up listening to something that's gonna cut you. You're gonna end up listening to a brother's video, all right, and he might say something that you didn't even realize, but it applied to you, and you realized it in that moment, and you make the correction. All right, meaning what? You're in a state of humility when that happens. All right. So it says, "Submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." Right? How do you resist the devil? Prayer, fasting, self-examination. The most important thing is praying to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's how you resist the devil. Resisting Satan that way, and he will flee from you. Yeah. So praying, all right, making sure you're examining yourself, getting rid of any pride, because we all have some level of it that we need to examine and get rid of. Because pride isn't always just you being heady and with your nose in the air. Sometimes it could be just you trying to handle everything on your own, and you don't want to ask for help, and you disguise it under, I don't want to burden no brother. The whole time you just feel like you don't want to ask for help. You might feel embarrassed. That's pride. Pride doesn't always have to be somebody with their nose in the air. So the number one thing, man, is getting rid of pride, being humble to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. In these times, man, we're living in times where we're gonna have to put a lot of things to the side, a lot of your emotions, a lot of your wants to the side. It says, "Draw nigh to the Most High," or draw close to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Right? One thing about Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, what you give is what you're gonna get with him. If you don't put in the effort to grow in the spirit, you're not gonna grow in the spirit. He's not just gonna give it to you. Let's say you're in a situation though where you might be running low on time. I know for me, I'm going through a trial like that right now, where I'm trying to budget my time as best I can, and then certain things happen, But what the Lord, as of right now, the Lord's making a way for me to, to make it work, right? But sometimes you're in those, you're in those funks, and you're just like, damn, man, I can't seem to get it right. So you submit yourself to the Most High. You draw close to the Lord. He's going to draw close to you. It says, cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. When you go into double-minded, that's doubt. All of us got to start purging that, because every single brother knows, man, we got to deal with some level of doubt, and we're all purging it away, all right, as we grow in this thing. You see, that's what makes this truth so beautiful, man, is that when you do the right things and you pray to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he's not gonna let you just, be forsaken. He's always gonna have your back. All right, you pray to the Lord for more wisdom. Hey, He gonna give it to you. The scriptures say that, to pray to the Lord without a double mind, and He'll give you wisdom at your desire. That's literally in the scriptures, So it says, cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded, which is another way you draw close to the Most High, by, cleansing your hands, doing what's right, forsaking whatever it is that's causing you to, because us that's in the truth, man, for the most part, a lot of times it's not actual sins that we're committing, but we done filled up our schedules with mundane things that we didn't have to. And what do? You cut that down, all right? You realize you got to purge it for a little bit. You might have to leave it for a little bit, and you purify your hands, and you give more time to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because it happens. Living in America, man, this place teaches you to I don't even want to say it teaches you to love your flesh, because we know better. But what it does do, everything is set up to take you away from the spirit, really. To keep your time away from the spirit. Esau sets up this 40-hour work week, and, some brothers work way more than 40 hours a week. And what? It takes away your time from doing the works of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Because then you want to do the carnal things too, and things of that nature. But what? You got to lock in. You got to do what's right in the sight of the Lord, man. All right, this is Colossians 3:12. It says, put on, therefore, as the elect of the Most High, which we are the hopeful elect. We're hoping, Lord willing, we're of that number. And we're putting on, therefore, as that, right? So put on the mindset of it. It says, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness. And these are all attributes of the elect. Okay? It says mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind. That's very important, man, being humble. Knowing that you don't got it like that. I know for me, whenever I start to feel a little overly confident, all right, I always think to myself, nah, man, I still lacking this, I still lacking that. Let me tone it down, Let me remember that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is the one that gave me this, or Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is the one that did this for me or delivered me out of this. It was never of my own strength. You got to check yourself sometimes, because sometimes it ain't even you. Sometimes it just be Satan, all right, trying to creep in and, cause you to have a mindset of pride. It says, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. So let's read in the CSB. It says, therefore, as the Most High's chosen ones, which Lord willing we are chosen, it says, holy and dearly beloved, put on compassion, right? Kindness. Yeah, compassion and kindness. That's what we have towards each other, towards brothers, towards believers, right? Compassion, understanding brothers, and kindness. Treating brothers with kindness. All right, because that's a very important thing as well, man. Treating your brother the way you're supposed to. Treating the believers the way that you're supposed to. Like right now, I'm doing this lesson out of love for Yahweh Shai, out of fear of the Most High, and out of love for the believers, man. Because shit, I'm a believer and I'm going through this, going through that. So I'm like, man, I already know the brothers out there, all right, the few sisters and the believers, man, they going through it too. I gotta feed the sheep, man. So let me put this lesson together. Because I didn't want to make I didn't want to go into today, at least I didn't want to go into some recent events. There were some recent events of a so-called terrorist attack. All right, if you know what I'm saying. And I was going to make a lesson on it. But then I was like watching a different video. And then this lesson came about, I wanted to put it out, having the mindset of in this season, having that humility mindset, that mindset of serving Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, putting yourself to the side and putting the Lord forward. It says, put on compassion, kindness, humility. I was gonna say humbleness of mind again. Humility, which is very important, man. Being humble, being lowly, and being humble doesn't mean you just, oh, I ain't shit, I ain't this. No. Being humble is knowing you don't got it like that, and being lowly. Okay, having the mentality of, there's always room for improvement. I ain't perfect. Having the mindset of, well, what could I do better this week? Because sometimes you get caught up. You might have a good week. You'll do 5 videos. You did 7 videos that week. You did one a day up until camp. You went live on camp day, right? And he was like, yeah, I did good this week. Yeah, which is, it's cool to, be happy about the works that you were able to put in. You say, the water I had the ability to do it. See, that's humility right there, Because I know sometimes when I have a good week, I'll be like, oh, I could, chill. And then it's like, nah, wait, I don't need to chill. The work's not over. I got to keep going. Maybe I'll go a little less harder with the videos this week and do more studying. That's the balance, and that's the humility. Knowing that you don't got it like that, knowing that you still have to do more. Knowing that meeting the quota is not about that. It's not about meeting the quota. It's about doing what the Lord told you to do with fear and reverence. Okay? The scriptures say, serve the Lord with fear and trembling. All right? So it says humility, gentleness, and patience. And patience, man, is so important because we are awaiting salvation. See, Christians have that saying, oh, I was saved in 97. Oh, I was saved in 2005. I found the Lord. I was saved. Hey, look, we're not saved yet. Shit. Weather's still extreme. All right. Esau's NWO is happening. And we ought to be working on ourselves right now, not focused on other things. We got to have patience. We got to focus on what? Salvation. Because our salvation is not coming by carnal means. Our salvation is coming by what? Waiting on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. It's not by any type of sword. It's not by way of money. It's by way of what? Waiting on the Lord. Okay? So we have to be patient as well. These are the things that we ought to be praying for, man. These attributes, also submitting ourselves to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and being humble. That's the mindset to have right now in these times, man. All right? Because what? Hey, in the times we're coming into, the last thing you want to do is think, oh, no, I got it. And then the Lord shows you that, no, you don't. That's the last thing you want to go through during Jacob's trouble, during great tribulation, during the hour of temptation. You want to be delivered in that time, not forsaken. All right? So that's all I wanted to bring out, though, real quick through the Spirit, man. I pray that this was exhorting and edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, B'Shem Chakadash. Double honors unto my elders and apostles, great millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us his truth, man. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect as always, man. Shalom.